I remember one time you told at a space room way back in the day that post-show, Mike, you told that story to a room full of comics and said, and that woman was actually Sam's dad.
And Sam was the doll.
Oh my God, everybody. It's time for
back.
Season 2.
Yeah, nobody asked for it, but we're doing some more.
Big
talking shit.
Episode here, folks.
Talking out of our ass.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
We've got local comedians, local legends,
Local heroes.
the
Clinton House heads. The Queen and King of Clinton House.
Royalty of Fat Castle.
Queen Sam and King Pasi.
Sam Whiteley, Adam Pasi. They're here. We were good friends with them, so we just had a conversation.
Yeah. And we talked dogs and debauchery and shoe polish and
Anal.
anal. We don't talk anal.
We should have.
We should have. I would love to hear Posi's take on anal.
Bet he loves it.
And,
It's basically just a normal conversation we would have in the middle of the night, which we did. We recorded this at 11 p.m., which was weird.
it was weird.
It went well.
Yeah.
Here's the episode, folks.
I don't like that close.
How are you, Sam?
I'm okay, man.
Okay.
Yeah, just trying to maintain mostly as the most frequent guest of this podcast.
Yeah,
I think
I
at least
think
by
you're number one now.
one appearance over. Well, now fuck Ross. He doesn't get a shout out. I've been on this podcast more than you have. How's that, Ross?
It's either you or Ben Levy. I don't know which. You're about the same.
You and Ben are pretty neck and neck at this point.
Wow, how much do you guys hate Ben? Because he lives here.
Yeah, he's upstairs right now.
Yeah, to clarify.
We said you can come down and say hi, but as soon as we turn on the mic, you get the fuck out of here, dude. I want to hear your voice later.
Sometimes we'll bring him in as like a correspondent, ask us a few questions or something.
Yeah.
He'll just come down and show you a video on his phone.
I enjoyed hearing him and Seth trade high school debauchery stories.
Sure. That's what Ben's good at.
I think Ben was doing a lot more hallucinogens in middle school than Seth was, but yeah.
That checks out.
When did you start tripping, Sam?
When was the first time I tripped?
Yeah.
Probably 18.
Okay, it's a good age.
Yeah, I mean, better than...
Which one did you use?
LSD was the
that was
first
my first
one,
too.
which is... I don't think it should be the first one you do.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's smoother than mushrooms can be fucking tough, especially if you don't know what you're expecting. Like that.
I like how you guys say that, and Noah is literally sober now because he liked drugs so much, and you had to take a good solid break from the shroomers for a while.
Because acid's better. And that's what the doctor said.
I don't think that was the
You were
takeaway.
having seizures when you
Yeah, too. It's not that big of a deal.
It's when Lundy found
talking
you
about Sam.
underneath our sink, what he said to you was acid only from now on, buddy.
Yeah, Dr. Lundy.
Wait, you had a seizure?
Yeah, in Clinton House, in your bathroom.
We did everything we could for him. We gave him some water and
Both
sent
times
him
it
on his
happened.
way.
Each time is completely fine afterwards. It's no big deal.
Have you looked into this at all?
I stopped doing mushrooms. I don't like the doctor.
He's gonna ask me about how much mushrooms I'm doing, and
I'm gonna randomly stop one of the destructive things I do.
Look, it's so far I haven't had any seizures again.
While awake, at least.
That's true. Nighttime, who knows what's happening?
Someone would tell.
I had a seizure in my 20s on... I lived in Japan, so you can get opiates over the counter.
Okay.
Yeah. Codeine, I think. Yeah, pills.
Did too much codeine.
So, yeah, I drank earlier in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then that night, we were going to pop a bunch of pills and go watch the sun come up.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds great.
It's dope.
Yeah.
It's fucking
That sounds like
fantastic.
a
On
night
a
in
beach,
Japan,
on
yeah.
a beach in Okinawa, Japan. It's
Oh my
really
God.
dope shit.
Mr. Miyagi's from there.
And true.
I know my things.
And so Yeah, and you take a lot of pills because they're really small pills.
That makes sense.
Lightweight like me because I really did it. It was like 60 pills.
60?
Yeah.
For a night?
Codeine's like...
I don't know anything about
you gotta get a lot in you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Codeine's the White Claw of opiates. Like, one more always seemed like, what's one more of these gonna do to me?
Plus it feels like you're on a diet when you eat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I fucking OD'd
tiny.
on it one time, too, which
Really?
is... Yeah, well, from
Did you
lean...
take 70?
No, it was in the syrup.
Oh.
And I just kept drinking it because I figured this is like some nothing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't work.
Very
And
much
then you
not true.
And then you woke up
Yeah.
on Clinton House's bathroom.
Yeah, I had a seizure. Lundy was there.
Thank goodness Lundy was there to tell him to just keep it to the booze for a while, man.
Every time we pass out, Lundy's there to wake us up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's so 60, 80, and 120 are the usual amounts, and I think I went for 80, and I thought I was over my drinking that I'd done earlier enough in the day. Because I'm a fucking scientist.
It's been 2 hours. I'm done.
Yeah,
You know, that was dinner.
And so hours later, we're on the beach, and I went to take a pee, and I woke up on my knees, like jolting.
Wow.
You know, it's like,
Damn.
I went to my friends who are also not medical professionals, and they took my pants off, made me elevate my legs, and I'm just like sitting there, I'm like, does any of us know anything at all?
Yeah. That seems like a wild guess.
Give me my shorts back.
Hey, Pasi might die, but this might be the one time we get to see his dick before he dies. So let's fucking...
Yeah, one friend knew what to do. He was like, we need to elevate his legs. And the other one was like, wait. Make him take his pants off.
Trust me.
No, but everyone was like morbidly afraid and freaking out, but also high as shit.
Yeah. Even if they weren't joking with you, they might have just...
They're terrified. But, like, this isn't something we're going to have to stand up for, is it?
But so the drug itself was called Brown.
Okay.
And it can make you also, like, really irritable.
Interesting.
Like, I did it at my friend's place, and, like, I got kicked out of my folks' house for being, like, just a, smart, upstanding citizen.
Yeah. Just spit everywhere.
Dumping.
I'm sorry.
Who's dumping pills down his mouth.
Little baby bird's leaving the home.
Yeah. And so I was staying with my friend in his room, and we both popped a bunch of pills because we didn't have shit else to do. And I'm sitting there literally reading the articles in a Playboy for once in my life.
Nice.
And I just couldn't stop, like, every time he'd say something to me, and just, like, normal stuff, he's like, and, like, nice stuff, too, like, hey, man, like, you stay here as long as you want, dude. Like I think it was my first night there, so we just got high to take the edge off of me getting kicked out of the house.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, I'm going to go to the kitchen, you want anything? And I remember thinking, like, reflexively, I had never expressed it, but I was like, God, I wish he'd just fucking leave. Would you leave your own house that you're letting me stay in, please? Because I don't have one of my own right now.
I get some privacy.
I am trying to read.
And so on Okinawa, you can't really get weed.
Okay.
And so that's the predominant drug there. Because that's kids get drunk.
I think that's pretty popular in that whole region of the world.
Do opiates, and then huffing comes in cycles.
Ooh, okay.
Inhale, it comes in cycles. So so what will happen is the kids will be doing it, and then someone will get really fucked up, like probably forever off of it.
Yeah.
And then everyone will stop, and then there'll be that one older guy hanging out with the high school kids, like, you guys don't party like we used to in Okinawa.
Grab your socks.
And it'll come back. So I lived there to watch 2 cycles of huffing happen.
That's correct.
And to hear them describe the high, I was tempted. And then when I watched them get high and watched them literally lose their fucking minds in 5 minutes, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, no, that never seemed one for me, huffing.
I did it, and it was bad.
What'd you
It
huff?
was not good. I huffed window cleaner one time. That was industrial window cleaner. There was like a 10-gallon bucket of it in my friend's basement with like a little. It looked like a gasoline tank, and I had been smoking weed, and it didn't get me where I needed to be. So I just plugged my nose, and I put my mouth over it, and I just had to crawl up the stairs on my elbows, and the whole it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was not good.
That's how they actually wrote that crow commercial for Windex. With huffing Windex.
All those crows are fucking hanging out with rags.
Yeah, you see crows just
Did
talking
one
to
of
you,
your
laughing at
butt?
you.
Were you alone when this happened?
Yeah, he had no idea because it goes by so fast.
Right.
It's like when you huff, like that shit's only a couple minutes. So like by the time I had made it, it took me a few minutes to get up the stairs. But once I got to the top, he was just like, "Hey, where'd you go?" And I was like, "Oh, I was just hanging out for a minute."
I was seeing if I could get up the stairs without my legs.
I can.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at it. When I'm upside down.
When I watched my friends do it, and again, I was like, they're like, dude, the high is awesome. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, but also, even still, like, that's a lot to ask me to just sit there. It was like, also, guys, we can get over-the-counter codeine. Why are we
in Japan, dude? Do you realize?
Why are we sucking shoe polish's dick right now
for buy it?
But
shoe polish, when I was in 8th grade, the shoe polish fad got popular enough that we got like a form letter, like every parent at my middle school
wow,
telling them signs that their child was huffing shoe polish, as if they're subtle. But
do you have nice shoes? Keep them away from your son.
They look like they're really bad at blackface all the
time. He's not high. He just doesn't commit to anything ever.
Yeah. No, that's a fucking rough one. That's one like you see somebody like they're the gas addicts, like the gasoline addicts. That's something different. They're always holding dead dogs or something. It's never like a happy-go-lucky junkie.
Different kind of junkie.
I saw a lady at the 76 on Macadam just asking for like $10 worth of gas, and she didn't have a car or a gas can. She just had like a bucket.
Wanted to huff it.
They had to explain to her like 4 different times, like, we can't just do that for you. And it was so sad. She finally left, but like,
put it in my bucket.
Well, I mean,
on a mission that day to find some gasoline.
We're gonna get a pail of gas.
Well, legit, like the first time I saw somebody huff gas, I had seen the same lady a week before at a park, and she asked me if I had any scissors to cut things out of her dog's hair, and she just had a dead dog in her arms.
Oh, boy.
That joke you made was real.
That was a real thing.
Did she think it wasn't dead?
I don't know what she thought.
The crazy thing, every time Noah saw someone huffing gas, they're holding the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That dog is to gas huffers what Lundy is to people having seizures.
Always there. Always a witness, non-biased.
If I huffed enough chemicals, I'd probably see Ross's dead dog in my visuals.
Yeah. What if, I mean, to them, I don't know what that was. To them, it might just be, they think it's a live dog, probably.
Yeah. God, that's a horrible.
I am picturing, like, instead of a bucket, she could just walk up to, like, the gas attendant with a rag and be like, hey, can you squirt some on this?
It was like a paint bucket. And
It'd probably be easy
ran out of ways to tell her, like, you need to get. I think they had gas cans, and they were like, I'm not going to give you one. No. You clearly do not have a car at home.
I wonder how many containers she vetoed before she ended the bucket. Yeah. Big gulp. Nah, they're not going to do this.
Squirt bottle?
Squirt bottle.
A 2 liter, yeah.
I'm picturing one of those Gatorade bottles with the twist top.
Yeah. You top me off?
You're like, bucket, this looks legitimate.
She waits patiently in line behind the other cars.
Was it a plastic or metal bucket?
It was plastic.
I think a little
that makes most
tin
sense.
pail at my... Alright.
Yeah.
You can get your whole head in a plastic bucket.
Yeah, like one that you would see homeless people drumming on.
Oh, yeah. Multiple uses. You huff it, and then you pour it out, and then you drum on it.
Right.
You get your muse, and then you flip it over, and you create art.
You write the next fucking Stairway to Heaven. That's what you write.
But, the bucket drum version.
The bucket drum version of Stairway to Heaven.
This stairway's made of plastic buckets this time. I've seen something worse than the dead dog thing, but it was dementia caused, not by drugs. I used to work in nursing homes for a while. And one in Vegas, there's this old lady who's always running around with a baby doll that she thought was her baby. She'd pat it around and talk to it all day and rock it to sleep. Wow. Problem is, every couple weeks, it would occur to her that her quote-unquote baby doesn't respond or breathe or open its eyes. And so this woman would mourn a dead baby
Oh no!
And then eventually her brain would reset, and it just
the
the clock would tick again.
Cyclical.
On. I swear to God, someone put a bullet in me.
Oh my gosh!
And like, when I start losing it, and not even in like a shitty, like, because fuck those people. No, I've seen it up close so many times.
Yeah. You don't want to.
I remember one time you told at a space room way back in the day that post show, Mike, you told that story to a room full of comics and said, and that woman was actually Sam's dad.
And Sam was the doll.
And he was replying.
Yeah, I always love that part of the night. We're like, well, I don't think I'm gonna get anything out of this artistically, so let's hurt each other.
Yeah. But there's things people have said.
Let's lash out since we're not gonna be successful tonight.
I've had those nights at Space Room.
Yeah, I only kind of miss Space Room.
I miss it, but there's a lot of emotions that I don't miss that I had at that. There were some bad nights at Space Room, but there were a lot of good nights too.
There was some horrible shit that happened there.
Yeah.
Some comic on comic violence.
Whoa.
Some comic on.
What happened with comic on comic?
Oh, we're not gonna. I'll tell you
happened.
later, but yeah.
There was one comic got attacked outside by the homeless guy with the dog. Alive.
That was a regular dude. That guy had like a car.
He wasn't homeless.
He was not homeless. Apparently,
not everyone with a dog has a drug habit.
His actions seemed homeless.
He was on a bunch of LSD apparently, which kind of explains some of his paranoid, violent behavior. Not to defend, like fuck that guy or whatever. Yeah. I don't know.
At least
what
he wasn't
happened.
on mushrooms.
Yeah, Aaron would have killed him.
Yeah.
So LSD, the dog's alive. Mm-hmm. Gasoline, the dog's dead.
Definitely dead.
So I guess mushrooms, the dog's in a light coma.
Maybe is that what it? Can't quite tell.
Hard to tell. Yeah.
It's moving, but you can't tell if these are what are those movements. Hello, and welcome back to Channel 10 News at 11. Our 12th story tonight regards a dangerous new group on the rise here in Portland. Self-identified as the Foot Fetish Boys, this group has been linked to a series of foot-sniffing related crimes. Be on the lookout for any suspicious activities. They've reportedly been caught commissioning fake podcast ads on The Basement Show in hopes of scamming people into sending them shoes. God only knows what they did with what they received. Local police are currently investigating a carnival union infiltration heavily linked to the Foot Fetish Boys. If you have any information related to this group, please contact either Channel 10 News or the non-emergency police line. This mysterious group is on the rise, and while their numbers and background are unknown, their motive is clear. They will stop at nothing to sniff your feet. Back to you, Becky.
They're on to us.
Dude, we're getting a dog.
Yeah, we got approved from a breeder like
Shut
today.
the fuck
Today,
up.
we're getting a
Great
Great
Dane.
Dane. We're getting
You fucking
we're getting a Great
idiots.
Dane.
It's awesome that you guys are getting to participate in small-scale eugenics like you've always done.
No, dude. We've talked this whole thing out. We're like gonna do the whole thing, like train the fuck out of it. Like we're gonna do this shit right. So we're doing all.
No, don't lie. You wanted a Great Dane because you got a pretty decent shot at riding it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
I could.
We could put no on
I
that
was
dog.
thinking about that. I was like, Ben. I didn't even register it, but Ben said like, the dad was 175 pounds and the mom was 130. So it's like, even if that's smaller than the mom, that dog's gonna be bigger than I am. Either way, dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That dog will be
its-
larger than
On
you.
its back legs, it'll be taller than anything.
So do you have the dog picked out?
Yeah, you want to see a picture? I'll pull up a picture.
Is it a puppy?
It's a puppy. We're going to get it in a couple weeks because it's not ready to be sent out yet.
Naturally.
They wait till they're 8 weeks old. But yeah, that's the puppy.
Oh,
It's pretty super cute.
Just imagine right now there's just a dog looking you in the eyes. just on its feet.
I know how dogs can look at people.
Great
Yeah.
Dane.
Well, I mean, like,
Like,
just
literally
how tall
without-
it's gonna be.
It's gonna be fucking.
Oh, you mean yeah?
It's gonna be
damn.
right here, dude, at
Yeah.
our like shoulder, just walking up.
Yeah.
That's gonna be such a fucking
Yeah,
brag.
but we were out on the porch and we were talking about it, and Silas said something about like, well, we got to get Ross over to take care of the dog after everything, and Ben goes, yeah, to rub it in.
We were just talking about that. We didn't tell me about the dog. You guys are getting a spite Great Dane.
Fuck you.
Name it Charles or something.
Yeah.
Better, Charlie.
What are...
Yeah.
So no purebreds have health problems. What are the health problems that come with a Great Dane? Have you looked into that, or are you
Yeah.
guys just ignoring
No.
that completely?
There's just one major health problem, that's bloat, and that's this thing. Basically, after it eats, it can't get exercise for about 40 minutes to an hour. Otherwise, their stomach flips upside down.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
dogs that's not just Great Dane. Like big dogs, their stomach is just in a weird way where it can just fucking turn on itself. It happens to a lot of dogs.
It does have, does it not, like the lowest life expectancy of any dog?
Yeah,
is
we're gonna
Great
be
Danes.
upset in like 5 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like 9 years, right? Or is it
Yeah,
a
like
little
at
bit
most,
more?
like,
really,
it's like
yeah.
6 to 8.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like 9 is
It's
good.
not long. 9's an
Yeah.
old Great Dane.
What's that movie with Will Smith? I'm not gonna
I Am
think
Legend.
of it. No, don't do
He
that.
had a dog.
Dude, honestly,
There's the one where he
Wild Wild
dates the cancer lady, the lady that has cancer, and
6
she has a
degrees of
Great
separation.
Dane, but she got a Great Dane.
7 pounds. Or
7 pounds, I
Yeah, is
think.
that what it's
Yeah,
called?
she got it just because she figures like they don't live long, so like it'll die before I'm supposed to be dead, anyways. Which
That's
is
fucked up.
yeah.
That sucks. You get
Yeah.
cancer and a dead dog.
Yeah, that's weird that you want to do that to yourself.
Or she was like, all right, I'm going to start huffing gas in 6 years.
What a fucked up gamble on just timing to just like.
Yeah.
But in our case, I mean, I'd wager that we're all not going to be living together in 9 years. Like, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we've also been talking about, like, when we get split up, however that happens, we got to kind of decide who is the actual owner of the dog then, who it goes with. That's going to be
Man, hopefully the split's amicable. You guys got to have like
No.
a weird friend divorce
We're
and
gonna
a
hate
dog
each other.
custody
yeah,
argument.
for sure.
Yeah.
I bought the bone. The
I
bone
gotta
comes
beat my
with me.
ex-friend to pick up my dog. You guys have to bring a third person with you. I ran into some friends where, like, me and my friend didn't realize it, but the three of them were meeting in public because one was giving their daughter to the other, and legally a third person needed to be there, and we were all drunk at the Safeway, like, you guys should come back to our house after, whatever it is you're doing here.
Let's hang out.
Divorce is funny.
Thank God it didn't happen to our parents, right, Noah?
Right. Good.
Anywho.
You guys got together, parents?
Yeah.
Got together, parents. Got Bible loving, anti-divorce having people for parents.
Yeah, are your parents religious too, Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why
then
I
they
was-
won't.
That's why I was
They've
raised
thought
it.
about it, they just won't do it.
What?
Get divorced.
Yeah, they probably should have a long time ago. But also, they're kind of codependent at this point, so.
My parents actually get along pretty well, which it's just good. That sounded like I was bragging.
Yeah.
I was just
Hey, my parents are cool,
It's like,
dude.
hey, yeah, I'm sorry about your shitty parents, but mine
Dude, it's
love
how
each
it's
other.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's how sad it is that
Yeah.
you're like, not to be a big asshole in front of you guys. Not to swing my parent dick around the room, but mine are... my dad's a dick. I love him. He's fuck. I remember there was a time a couple years ago where my mom was considering leaving him over an incident, and like across the board, all of her kids were like, "Yeah,
That makes sense.
like I love him. I'm always gonna love him, but he sucks. I couldn't imagine living with him like you do."
Yeah, there's a reason we all moved. Do you look like your dad?
Nah, he's in shape.
He was military, right?
Yeah, he's a military
Oh, that's why you have such
bodybuilder. Fucking.
Really?
you have such a
Jesus.
colorful past because you grew up bouncing around, or how many places did you grow up? Like the military?
Full list, born in Tacoma. Then from there, San Francisco, Munich, Germany, New York, New Jersey, Bremerhaven, Germany, Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Okay.
Vacaville, California, Okinawa, Japan, and back to Portland because that's where my mom's family was from.
Gotcha.
So.
I'm interested in the Germany part of that. How long and when were you in Germany?
Well, I was a little kid. Though my first memory is like ages 2 through 4, maybe 5. I think 5. Yeah, I started kindergarten in the States.
Okay.
Shout out to Miss Kravinsky. PS39 Tigers are very fine.
Shout out.
Staten Island in the building. But yeah, so yeah, I think 2 to 5, and then Germany again 10 to 13.
Okay.
I believe so. Those were more.
Now what was that? I mean, that seems literally so foreign to me as to grow up. Like, was that I don't know. You weren't there during the Berlin Wall, were you? How old are you?
Yeah, wall came down when I was in Germany. Yeah, 90.
How old were you
Really?
then?
Yeah, I was 10.
Holy shit! Do you remember much of that? Like, what the vibe was then?
I didn't, dude. I didn't even like.
You're a kid. So
I just knew it was like a big deal.
Everyone's freaking out, but
and I'm surrounded by military families too. So they're
Yeah.
like, "We did." I'm like, "Yeah, we fucking did."
Right.
Whatever the shit. Hasselhoff singing. Nailed it. Night Riders
Yeah,
playing a tune right now.
Okay.
So
Why is he so big in
they
Germany?
fucking love him, dude.
Hasselhoff. He's got the last name.
I
for it.
guess. But, like, what did he do? Even in 90, like, Baywatch had been on the air for, like, 3 seasons or so,
He's got those pecs,
more or
dude.
less, and he had, like, 1 album. It
Yeah.
just...
No, Germans respect good pecs. That's
Yeah, they love the Hoff.
I've been looking for a Heroes dope, too.
I've never. What's that?
His music. That's, like, that's the song he was singing on Top of the Wall.
You just questioned his validity, but you were like, but for
pretty
real,
dope,
that shit
though.
slaps.
It, yeah.
It deserved to be on
It
the wall.
hits.
I did a
mean,
walkthrough of his childhood home. I know where he slept.
No, I mean, that's a recommendation for all the listeners, is David Hasselhoff's hit single, I've Been Looking for a Heroes.
Broke us out of the Cold War.
Yeah, literally. It's that in Rocky 4.
Yeah, so you were there from 10. You said you were 15 by the time you moved out of there.
13.
13.
So, yeah, 93 we moved back to the States.
So, did you, like, run into people from the other side of the wall? How often were you, like, mixing
No,
with
because
the actual-
Bremerhaven was not close to Berlin
Okay.
at all.
I don't know
So,
anything
but
about
yeah, I think it's north.
Okay,
But
I'll believe you. Damn.
yeah, I was such a shit kid, so like I didn't absorb any of the culture. I
Yeah.
went, like, looking back on it, I was like, we did all this dope,
yeah.
interesting shit.
It's kind of hilarious to be like just that, because when you're a kid, you just kind of don't give a fuck. You know?
Yeah,
like,
so
how
can we
could
go to
you?
McDonald's?
You're a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
You're like, but you're also literally next to one of the most important parts of history, just kind of not giving a fuck. That's kind of badass. You're like, what are y'all fucking smiling for? Who cares? I'm over this shit.
This whole sucks. I want McNuggets. I want to pay for my ketchup. You got to pay for your ketchup at German McDonald's.
What?
That's one of the
Really?
differences.
Like a penny?
I don't
You know?
remember.
Oh,
I think
man,
it was
they
like.
tack it on.
I think it's like. I couldn't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember at all. Yeah, weird little things. So I learned the fastest way to go down a water slide in Germany.
Okay.
Because Europeans are much more open with their bodies.
Yeah.
So, either you're wearing the Speedo swim trunks and you just jack them up your ass and your butt cheeks are showing.
Jesus.
Skin moves super fast on a water slide.
Really?
How much faster? Like, how much
Dude.
of a difference could it really make?
A lot.
Really?
If you're wearing shorts, it's like a parachute there.
Yeah.
Are you
I
talking
guess
like
so.
They're
steep
friction,
one, or-
they're dragging you.
Yeah.
But dude, you go bare ass so I used to just
Bare
drop
ass?
trout down
Yeah.
to the ass. Yes, literally,
Nice. Yeah,
and like
Germany.
everyone does it.
Yeah. You're a
Like kids will
12-year-old.
be in the water slide line, and then it's your turn. It's like bam, and then you jump up and shoot down.
You send the shorts down first, and then you chase them.
I should have did that. And then I showed up in America as a 13-year-old doing that, and people were looking at me.
No, not cool anymore.
My cousins from the Dalles were looking at me like, "What the fuck is your deal,
Yeah.
kid?"
Like, dude, we've got pedophiles here. You gotta cool that shit.
And I'm the only half white one, so they're like, "Is this
What is
this
going
what they
on?
do?"
I guess it's a white kid thing.
And we do.
Dude, I went to one of the Disney World themed like water parks. And
What'd
they
you
got-
pull out to go faster?
Well, I didn't know the Speedo. I was just wearing a regular thing, and they tell you to like cross your legs, cross your arms, and that way you gotta fucking keep those legs crossed, or a bunch of water's gonna shoot up your ass.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, got it. And then I immediately uncrossed my legs, and boy, were they right. Like, my regular ass shorts were like as high as you pulled up your fucking Speedo. Like, they were up there, and it's like a fucking cliche movie. I like got out, like I'm like covered, and there's just like this hot girl walking by.
Yeah.
It was like I had to
It
hide behind
seems
a
like
rock.
everybody's been watching you go down the
Exactly.
whole slide for
Because
some
it's like
reason.
your big deal. It's like the biggest part of your day, but nobody gives a. But I like ran behind a rock and fucking took 10 seconds to get out of wedgie.
When you took a hot shower, cried in the fetal
I was like,
position.
Mom, I'm not going on that one again. Oh, I also saw my first boob in real life that day in the wave pool.
How old were you?
Young, like probably 12, 13.
Was it
young
a
teenager.
boob you wanted to see?
It was a normal lady, you know.
Right on.
Just bikini in a wave pool. One tit popped out. I went, whoa! And then
Dick showed up picky.
Wanted to see some internet titties.
that is
today.
why I was at the wave pool in the first place.
Yeah?
No, I just wanted to. Wave pools are crazy when you think about it. Like, people drown in those things monthly.
I've never done a wave pool.
I've never liked it in there.
No, it's scary as soon as
Oh!
you get in there. Unless you got like an inner tube. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like,
And
this is-
you know someone's peeing in that thing.
Oh, everyone's peeing.
Everyone's
in that.
peeing in it.
Everyone's
Yeah.
peeing all over that park, dude.
I'll tell you, I peed in all the public pools.
I'll pee in the inner tube.
I
rides.
did too. It's what was it they who was I talking about this the other day? I think it was you that they wasn't there a lie that like they said if you peed in a pool it would change colors.
Yeah.
And
There's
people
There's a
would.
chemical that
Some
they have in
pools have it, some pools don't.
I feel like they were mostly just saying that
Scare
though to
tactic.
be like, yeah, kid, if you piss in this pool, everyone's gonna
Yeah.
know it's you, you fucking
it's
gross
a-
weirdo.
For the most part, it's a scare tactic.
Yeah,
It is real. It does happen.
Also, I think, but also if you're a public pool, I think you just rather not know because what happens?
Yeah.
Someone pees in the pool,
Then
you
you
gotta
gotta
shut it
deal
down,
with it.
and you gotta refill
Yeah.
the whole fucking
Yeah.
pool.
You're just a teenager on a summer job. You don't want to
Yeah.
fucking do that.
It's more cost effective for the people
Yeah.
who swim in
That
piss.
die was featured in the film Grown Ups.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was the other weekend at the beach. Grown Ups was on
Yeah,
TV.
they have a scene where I think David Schwimmer goes in there and pisses
Yeah.
or something, and it turns blue. Everyone leaves the pool.
I like Grown Ups too.
What did you call Grown Ups
The
to?
Fast and Furious.
The Fast and Furious.
It continuously ups how much it doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's. I think if you watch it in the right frame of mind, it's awesome.
I don't. I can't quite get there. Like, one of the gags is Tim Meadows just saying, "What?"
Oh, yeah.
And that is, like, on its own, supposed to be enough.
I was in for Grown Ups 1 because I was young enough to be, like, still kind of, like, young, and I saw it with my parents type vibe. So it was like, I was in, and then I was an older teenager by the second one that didn't give as much of a fuck. And I was like,
My brother.
Shaq's doing weird dances.
My brother didn't let go of Sandler. He might not have yet. Like he's still like
Sailor's on an upswing.
when it's now,
Yeah.
but like we watched the Ridiculous Six together,
Yeah, okay.
and I yelled at him the whole time.
That's not his best.
Because we take turns picking movies, and like I've thrown a couple duds in the mix.
Sure,
So
yeah.
whenever he throws a dud in the mix, but there's this one part of Ridiculous Six that is funny, where the guy does an impression of a guy whose head they shot off, and he keeps shooting guns, and just the guy doing the impression did make me laugh, and I could see my brother's face in my periphery, like, oh, he's getting it. So I laughed exactly like this. I was like, ha ha ha! This movie still fucking sucks, bro.
Still gotta let you know I don't like this.
Did anybody see That's My Boy from like
With,
2008 or 9?
Sandberg?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my God,
Sandler.
I did, yeah.
Kind of peak bads, and the twist of it is, I don't even remember the plot, but the twist at the end of the movie is that a brother and sister are fucking each other.
Whoa.
Like, he walks in on
I
them
kinda
fucking each
remember
other, and he's like, oh, so you're not really brother and sister? And they're like, no, we are, just don't tell anyone. And, yeah.
And that's why porn is
Sandberg's
the way it
wife is his sister?
No, Sandler's not fucking his sister, but, like, his rival is. I can't remember the details
He's
behind
playing
it.
the lady that is his sister. That is also
That'd have been an awesome ending to Jack and Jill.
they were fucking each other.
Yeah, he decides he wants Jill,
And
and
it's like not that bad of it because you know it's just the same guy under the same guy, but it's still weird. Like,
oddly in support of incest.
incest is alright if it's just you. If you're in both parties.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. Fucking dude, I've watched Dirty Work like an embarrassing amount of times just this year, and Sandler is the funniest part of that movie, and it's like 10 seconds of him playing the devil, but he's with his eyes closed.
Gary Coleman's in that scene as well as
he's
second.
in a lot of that movie.
I would argue, the scene where Ken Norton knocks him out is pretty great too.
Pretty great. It's very funny.
I lose it every single time I see him moon the people in line and he just parks the car.
Yeah. He's supposed to keep driving.
Dude, his stand-up special was... I loved it. I watched it a bunch.
I watched it with you.
I remember you were stoked when it came out because you were singing the Hero song for the next.
Yes.
Oh,
You got real into the Hero song. And then I waited like a year until after it was released till I even saw it, and I was like, that's what Pasi was singing on the porch.
Yeah.
I got obsessed with it, dude. I passed out to it, and then I woke up to it, and it was my everything.
It's great.
It was...
There's a photo of you taken that night with like a pink cowboy hat on, passed out, and my mom was like, I'm not trying to get into your business, but what were you doing last night? Because like everyone was tagged in it. And,
Tell your closed-minded mom stop being upset about the pink cowboy hat.
right, that was the only issue she took with it.
The passed out part. Meanwhile, at the Double F headquarters, the Foot Fetish Boys plan their next move.
Alright, listen up, boys. Frankie over here's got a new scheme for us. He's really on to something. We could be sniffing for weeks. Take it away, Frankie.
Thanks, boss. Alright, fellas. I've been doing my best to think outside the box on this one. Think back to being kids. Remember summertime at the carnival, huh? If you're like me, you couldn't get on up for that spinny swing ride that takes you way up in the air, right? That ride was the Sniffs.
Where are you going with this, Frankie? Carnivals?
Carnivals, boss. Focus on the feet, boss. What do people do before they go up in the air for a spinny delight? They take their shoes and leave them at the bottom.
Oh my God, Frankie, you're a genius!
Oh, the Foot Fetish Boys, they are coming for you. Plotting and scheming, gonna sniff your shoe.
Oh, here's another thing. Noah, you wanted to ask about food.
Yeah. What are you guys feeling as far as, like, we've been in quarantine for, like, forever, and I feel like all I eat is Popeyes.
Yeah.
So it's like, you guys, like, seem to have, like, a new
Good
spot
balance.
every time I talk to you. I mean, like, as far as wings and shit.
Where was that
Yeah.
birthday barbecue? Where was that from? Last
The
time I saw you.
barbecue window, that was Sam's call.
Yeah.
It was a damn good call.
Yeah, it looked real good.
Yeah, for Pasi's birthday, we decided to get lots of Postmates, and that I couldn't believe how good it was, though. Yeah. St. Louis style ribs. I think that's the best kind of rib.
Okay. Find anything. What are your go-to barbecue spots pre-quarantine and now?
We also just ate Matt's too the other day.
That match was phenomenal as well. Really good brisket.
The brisket from Matt's was way better. Yeah.
Pork belly burn-ins, which were pretty insane.
Very saucy.
Let me ask you this: what city do you think has the best? Like, have you of your travels? What's the best barbecue? I'd say St. Louis for me.
I've been to Pappy's Smokehouse in East St. Louis. Is widely considered the best ribs in the world.
Is that the one that's like in like a half convenience store, half restaurant?
No, it's got like sawdust on the floor and shit. Like I went and really liked it and got full and thought like, I mean,
you called me from that place.
Yeah,
FaceTime.
and then I thought like it's just ribs. Like it was really good, but it's like not an experience I haven't had. But then literally like it kept me up at night in my hotel room in St. Louis, and when it like. No, I just had to go get it again and went at like 11 in the morning the next day.
Damn.
11 a.m. I don't think I've ever had barbecue in the a.m. That's impressive.
People in St. Louis do it.
Yeah, that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I really explored different regions of barbecue, but I linked up. I made friends with this dude in Texas, in Austin, when I stayed with him. Him and his homies actually had a barbecue team. And that's the best fucking brisket I've ever had in my life, is the one they made that day. And it's funny, the name of their barbecue crew is Los Borrachos, which is Mexican for the drunks.
Nice.
And the reason is because they were all getting faded one night. Like, they're Texas-ass dudes, and so they know how to barbecue.
Yeah.
And so they were getting drunk one night. There was this competition, and they're like, it basically turned out to them daring each other to do the competition tomorrow, and they won. like they decided,
That's
like,
great.
stayed up all night.
I feel like you gotta be drunk to make good barbecue. Like, the better barbecues are made by drunk people, at least recipe-wise.
There's a spot in McMinnville, which is the town Ross went to college at, that's owned by Aaron McGahee from Jackass.
Really?
It's like really good barbecue. It's like it probably doesn't exist anymore because I think those dudes' money ran out. But he like hired one of the best pit bosses and put it in McMinnville like an idiot.
That's a weird place for the best barbecue. There's a place in St. Louis that we Googled it. It was like the top of like one of the must eat at.
That was probably
here in town.
Pappy's.
And well, it didn't sound like there was no sawdust on the floor, but like we pulled up and it's like there's a few gas pumps outside, and it's half of the building is just like a convenience store, and then there's like this half wall barrier. And then there's a line in like seating area, and it's some of the best goddamn barbecue I've fucking ever had. Like, you wait for 30 minutes because it's packed and you're in line. It's gotta be weird now, but you're just in a packed line. You're looking. They got a big menu. It's kind of that place where like, look, we know we got a lot of people, so you better like they kind of treat you a little short. Like, we don't care about you. You gotta get it out quick and let's go. Let's go.
They're
like
gonna
that.
sell out.
I love places like there's a place in Atlanta. It's not barbecue, but it's You ever been to the Varsity in Atlanta?
Mm-mm.
It's famously, it's real big, right on the interstate, and there's probably like 20 cashiers in a row with 200 people on this side of the thing, and they're that type of where they're like almost mean to you, like, come on, dude, you gotta, if you stutter one time, they'll yell you back of the line, figure it out next time. Like, it's fucking, like, I love that kind of place. It just makes you nervous, and you're like, can I please have a cheeseburger? Like,
the Willamette Week wrote an article about, like, it was, like, supposed to be this scathing takedown of that's the way voodoo does business.
Yeah, okay.
Like, the people are training you, like, fuck them, get them in, get them out.
Because we know it, we got people coming.
So. But, like, the article is like, can you believe they're doing this? I'm like, yeah, that's good business.
Yeah, I feel like that vibe doesn't go well with the Pacific Northwest of people walking like, could you not talk to me that way, sir? Like, I'd like to talk to somebody else, please, if that's all right.
Well, dude, there's another place downtown, like near the Brody or Northwest, the Roxy.
Yeah,
the Roxy's.
Yeah, dude, the Roxy's dope. I love that. They just treat you like shit the minute you walk in. I'm there for it.
I feel like that's not even on purpose. It's just kind of the...
And half the time, I feel like the waitress or the server's in a costume, which makes it weirder that you're like being short with me and you seem like you really want your shift to end.
Yeah, dude.
When you're dressed like Elvis still.
A place in Chicago, Ed DeBevick's, it's kind of that same vibe. They'll get up on your table and dance. Like, it's a full shtick of, like, fuck you, basically. They'll call your mom fat to her face. Like, like, it's just crazy. They'll fucking tip over something. They'll clean it up, but they'll just fucking walk by it. If something's on the edge of the table, they'll just fucking flip it.
Dude, that's so good. I'd have so much fun working there, dude.
And then you gotta just explain to everybody coming in, because if you bring a friend that doesn't know, they're gonna freak out.
Yeah, that almost doesn't sound fun.
Just like imagine walking in there having no idea.
That'd be the appeal of the place. Introducing someone new. Always your out of town friends.
Yeah, take your friend. It's this real nice restaurant, real fine dining, best food, nice service.
I've been meaning to try it forever. I've only heard great things about it.
They come up to the table like, "What's up, bitch?"
I'd lose my fucking mind.
Excuse me?
Can I get a lemon slice in my water, please?
You'll get a water, and that's fine. All right.
Plastic
I
cup.
love that vibe.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's great. I don't know. I didn't grow up on barbecue. I grew up on Mexican food.
Okay.
I grew up like
California,
San Francisco
Mexico.
and shit. And like, dude, they talk about Portland having like the worst Mexican food, and a lot of the time that's fucking true. I've been to some gross ass Mexican places, but there's also some
really good spots in
Mexican food out
Portland.
here.
It's just the places that are so mediocre that have high like Los Gorditos by us.
Yeah.
junk.
It's very
fuck with
much
it.
it's average, and
It's
it.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
I
average.
like it. I like it. It's
go
that
there.
close to where I live, but I just don't like how long I have to wait
Yeah.
sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And
They put cilantro on their tacos, and like
Props.
that's just like
cilantro and
that's
onion.
That's so much farther in the door than a lot of other shitty ass places.
See, I'm a burrito guy if you don't have lengua. And so that's one of
Okay.
the issues.
Which
with
they
them
do.
for me. They got
Okay.
lengua?
Oh.
I like lengua when it's like smaller pieces and it's a little bit burnt, like it's on the more cooked side.
Can I be honest? I don't know what that is. I don't
Tongue.
know.
Tongue.
Really?
Yeah.
Lenga.
Dude, the
Lengua.
best taco
Lengua.
I've ever had was
You Midwestern the
yeah.
shit out of that.
Lenga, okay.
Lenga, lenga, and that like tongue.
Can I have a tongue linga, please?
The best taco I've ever had was a cabeza taco at Mission Burrito in the Mission in San Francisco, and like, dude, just back of the pig head tacos,
Yeah.
like that shit is nuts. That shit is
Cabezas.
crazy.
Underrated.
Yeah.
One, that's another one. The last 2 times, I've only been to Austin 2 times. But both times I kind of laid off tacos for a little bit when I got back. So
Yep.
like, this ain't gonna be, this ain't gonna hit it.
Well, they do it okay and shit. I like grew up on San Francisco Mexican food, so I'm like biased to a degree over the Tex-Mex stuff. But like I've been to like Sparky's and all that shit out in Austin. I honestly, part of it is I fucking do not like Austin at all as a city.
Fuck Joe
I think
Rogan.
it's fuck him, and like fuck Austin. It feels like Texas trying to be Portland, and like I don't. You know what I mean?
Didn't we copy them? Didn't we steal their slogan?
I don't
Yes,
care.
literally.
I don't really
But then
care.
we did it better.
But that's what's
They-
really weird, you fucking normies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Austin.
You love it?
Yeah, I almost moved there after the first time I went there. Like I was.
I want to check it out.
I'd be more interested if they had legal weed. That's kind of a big thing for me.
Yeah.
That is an
I
issue.
love just the freedom that brings, because you just, I mean, there's so
Yeah.
much hiding that goes involved with non-legal, with the buying, with the just keeping it. I also lived with my parents, so that was a whole different level of hiding in an illegal state.
Yeah, I could never get. And I'm not even an avid weed smoker, but fucking
But every once in a while,
Jay-Z in a song a couple years ago had a line where he's like, smoking Gorilla Glue like it's legal. I'm like, oh. And I'm like looking down on Jay fucking Z.
yeah.
I'm like,
Come on, dude.
what a quaint little
Yeah.
life you have, Jay-Z.
That's the other thing. I was like, I want to move to New York, but I'm like, I'm kind of holding out until I'm ready. But also, hopefully, by the time I'm ready, they have legalized weed by
Yeah.
then. Because I just don't want to have to find a weed dealer in a new city. It's gonna be a whole thing.
Can't imagine it's that difficult to get in.
Yeah, well, it is when you look like me, dude.
Yeah, it's tough
Nobody
out
wants
here
to
for
sell me
white
drugs.
guys in the drug game. Yes, they do. Everyone wants to sell you drugs.
Thank you.
I mean, they'll run up the prices on your dopey
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
ass.
Exactly, but they want to sell them to you. Apparently, the deal in those cities is just like you go certain locations and go up
Yeah.
to people, and
Okay.
they're just
See, but then that's it gives me anxiety.
oh, totally. But I'm sure you'll
Yeah, I
you'll
used to
get
just
there.
have to message Trevor and wait in a gas station parking lot until he brazenly would walk up to my car like, "Here you go, dude." It's like, fucking what the fuck?
One of my brother's best friends he has here in Portland, because when he first moved here, he needed a weed guy, and the guy, Christian is his friend.
Okay.
He was walking by him, and he looked like he got high. And he's like, yo, you know where I find some weed? And they've been rolling ever since.
Hell yeah.
Eugene is like that too, or at least when it was illegal, it was that flib in Eugene.
Well, California's like that. Just, I mean, it's legal, but still, for young people, like,
It was
like,
so fucking easy to
Yeah.
get weed. Well, everybody's like parents fucking grow weed out there.
I was in
It's-
San Francisco for 4 days, and I found a guy like day 2. I was just on the beach, and just a guy. The day 1, I was like freaking. I was like, I want to try weed. It was like 2 months before I turned 21, so like I couldn't just go buy it, but I also didn't want to just go ask some guy on the street to buy, because that's the whole thing. So I was like, maybe not. And I was just on the beach, and the guy just looked at me. He was like, "You want some weed?" I was like, "You're an angel." I about fucking kissed this man on the street. Like, he was like not in beach. He was in like a trench coat on the beach, wearing like a black beanie. I'm like, oh, am I seeing you? Are you an apparition, dude? You're
He was
my
looking
savior.
for a weed hungry young man.
Yeah, it was Green Jesus, dude. He looked like he had a beard like Jesus. I was like, this guy is.
Yeah.
told me
it's terrifying.
Also, a cheaper eighth than I had ever bought in an illegal state. So I was like, "Oh my god, you're just giving it away out here." But to him, it was like expensive street prices. So
I wonder if it is harder for kids to get weed now that it's legal and in a store.
It's a lot more, just more similar to getting alcohol.
you gotta have a big brother.
Yeah,
or
it
something.
probably depends on.
It was easier to get weed than alcohol for me when I
Really?
was in high school.
Commonly, yeah. For me, it was about the same. You know.
All right, big baller over here.
No, I'm saying like it's probably it wasn't the easiest. You
Weed
know?
is
You had to just
illegal
plan
no
it
matter
out.
what, you know. So like,
I don't know. From what I've heard from siblings and shit, it's still super fucking easy to get it.
Yeah.
At least in California, like.
it's easier
Oh.
for high schoolers where I'm from too. Just I mean, the more states that become legal, the less. Because you used to have to drive from the West Coast to wherever,
Yeah.
and like ship it that way. But now you can get legal in like Michigan, Illinois, have medical.
Yeah.
So like for Indiana, it's like a 20-minute drive sometimes, depending on where you've got the right card.
Yeah.
So the kids are just getting better shit then.
Oh,
All right,
for sure.
fair.
That's like it's you're no more brown weed. It's all fucking good quality, 20+%
Yeah.
shit. I used to fucking me and my best friend would just scrape together $20 for 2 grams, and that was like our week. Like just like all right, we fucking did it. Like a little tiny bag of a small ass amount of weed. How much you buying normally, Sam? Like what you buying eighths or halves? Eighths. Yeah, I never bought eighths. I would buy a gram at a time and spread it out as much as I possibly could.
Remember when I told you earlier how you couldn't get weed in Japan?
Mm-hmm.
My brother had a connect.
Whoa.
So
he's the man.
He was like, and it occurred to him, my brother loved to smoke, and what he would do is rather than sell weed to people who liked weed,
Mm-hmm.
he was in high school, so what he'd do is he'd smoke the weed, then he'd sell the shake to nerds who would be excited to tell someone that they were able to get weed.
Yeah, they're just excited for shake.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
Nice.
and that's how he got caught.
One of the nerds,
Yeah,
for
Because
sure.
he sold it to the people most likely to touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, selling to the nerds is tough. Were there Mexican food restaurants in Germany? Do they have Mexican food in Europe?
Not at all that I remember.
Man, we
I had my first Euro in Germany,
Okay.
Okay.
You can
Yeah.
get that here now.
and then they had McDonald's when I was there. Also, this is like 93, 93, so...
They probably have like Taco Bell and like fake like Chipotle type big
Maybe.
names, maybe.
Maybe now.
Now,
but
yeah. But like, I wonder if you just moved to Europe and started a Mexican restaurant, would you just become famous? Like, would you just introduce them to a whole new cuisine? Or have they ever had that? Would they like that?
It's like bringing a fucking Kinks record to the 20s.
Yeah.
Blow everybody's mind, dude.
What is this? This is amazing.
Just be too much for most people, I would think.
Yeah, you gotta
though.
bring
Like
it
they're
to
not
the
going to be
market.
that receptive to it.
Hey, do they do spicy food in Europe? Or are they little bitches?
Like fish and chips
Yeah,
and...
that's not spicy.
It's
I
not
feel like
spicy.
England especially is very bland and mushy.
It's also
I
that
feel like I would do well in England.
You can eat everything out of a fucking stomach, but you wouldn't
Yeah.
put peppers in it.
I feel like
Yeah.
in Spain you can find some spicy food
Spain,
pretty easily.
Mediterranean food's probably kind of spicy.
Yeah.
Is Mediterranean food spicy?
They do spicy
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, right?
They're the Mexican of
Yeah,
Europe.
there's always a pepperoni on my hummus plate.
Yeah.
there you go.
Exactly.
Always just one. I never get that.
In case you want to.
Italians, they got the pepper that you
That's
shake
true.
on the pizza and on pasta and shit.
Even then, it's not too spicy.
Some of the meats are pretty naturally
you could really blow
spicy.
their mind with some Mexican food over there.
Yeah.
I watched the documentary. I think it was about tacos. Was it Ugly Delicious?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember, but there was a lady from somewhere in Europe who had some Mexican heritage, and then she's like, "Yeah, this is how I make my Mexican food. It's like super legit." And then she went to Mexico. She's like, "Oh, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but this is tight now."
Yeah.
Right.
You guys ever done like one of the atomic wing challenges before?
No, I can't
No.
do that. Have you?
Yeah.
I believe you.
It's
How was that experience?
like horrible. It was very detrimental to my stomach. Like, I think it's contributed to stomach problems
Really?
I have now.
That's like
yeah.
Really?
That's through your spider bite.
Mm-hmm.
For your new
Have you done have you done the LFA challenge?
No,
You've had
I'm
the
not-
wings before, right?
I'm not into shit like that.
Me
Like,
either. I
challenges.
used to be.
I'm not trying to win a T-shirt for eating.
Just
Like,
yeah,
I've won free meals from eating. Just like,
feats of strength.
If it tastes good, I will exceed my spice tolerance, which really isn't that high. But if like the sauce is dope,
Yeah.
I'll hurt myself.
Mhm.
But yeah, stuff like that, it just doesn't really interest me. I remember one time at Buffalo Wild Wings in Vegas, me and my brother went there after like a night of drinking, and so we got a bunch of wings, and I just wanted to try the super spicy one. Like, I'd never tried anyone's super spicy anything.
Okay.
And so I was like, yeah, just one of those super spicy. I just want to try it, to see if it tastes as good as it is hot. And then the guy was a dick about it when it burned me up. He was like, you can't handle it. I'm like, yeah, you fuck. I didn't show up like, oh, yeah. Here comes the wing champ. I'm like, I ordered one.
Your mother may I. Could I please have some
I ordered
spicy?
one, and I was like, just let me see. Let me explore my own abilities right now.
Yeah.
Humbly. And he was like, you can't hang? I'm like, no, you fuck. I didn't think I could hang. That's why I got one.
Why are you here? You're a waiter. You don't have to watch me eat.
You're a 4 a.m. Buffalo Wild Wings waiter. Off the strip. Fetch me some milk, boy.
I'm gonna go mow your lawn. Oh wait, you don't have one. You have rocks outside your door, sir. It's Vegas. They don't have lawns there.
Oh,
Yep, my parents had a rock lawn.
They just have fucking sad little rock lawns.
And then people put sod in their yards. Like, I get it. It's nice having a yard, but that is just so
Doesn't look good.
much.
I walked past the house in our neighborhood the other day that just has a fake grass lawn. I was like, what are you... Why?
Like AstroTurf?
AstroTurf lawn.
That makes more sense in Vegas, though.
It makes sense in Vegas, but here it's like you're like it's sandwiched in between people that have like genuine forests for front lawns with all these different
I
crazy
think it's
bushes.
hilarious.
It's
I'd do
so
it.
cartoon looking.
That would be so fun. Like a palm tree and some fucking yeah, dude, in Portland.
And I'd have sprinklers pop up but not shoot anything, but still rotate.
You sit in your lawn and make the noise.
Rolling a lawnmower that's not turned on across it.
That'd be the most fun.
Like you're in a Lego world.
Fucking placebo lawn.
Tell people not to walk on it ever.
You love the fresh smell, don't you, neighbor?
It'd just be like that episode of Malcolm in the Middle where he rolls out AstroTurf under his grill. Everybody thinks he's doing a performance piece.
Meanwhile, at the county fair, the foot fetish boys enact their devious plan.
Step right up for the ride of your life. Welcome to the spinny swing ride, folks. Say, everybody, choose your seat. Wait for the staff to buckle you in safely. Make sure to take your shoes off, everybody. That is the rule. Everybody must leave their shoes at the bottom. Sir, please, shoes come off. Thank you. Don't worry. I'll be safe down here. Nothing to worry about.
Up you go. Bye-bye.
Quick, boys, grab all the shoes. Bag them up and get out of here before the ride ends. Good job, Frankie. We pulled it off.
The foot fetish boys, they crave that smell. Lying, deceiving, they are going to hell.
Oh, we have one last thing. You said the last
Yeah,
thing.
I
can't
read
bring it
something in a Willamette Week thing, and
Willamette.
Willamette, whatever.
Thank you.
Nerd.
Okay.
No, I'm just a
You
local.
called in a
Local nerd.
bomb threat somewhere?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
me and my, the reason we left Okinawa, Japan.
Okay. Yeah, let's hear the
Hell
final
yeah.
of the Japan
Okay.
saga.
Yeah, I orchestrated my brother calling a bunch of bomb threats to my work for me, and then he started calling him to a school.
Wow.
And then because he didn't want to take tests,
Okay.
and then they'd look at the people, but they'd already skipped school, but they'd
Oh.
redo the test,
Gotcha.
You missed the test.
So he was
day.
already not there.
Yeah, so they looked at the people who weren't there.
That makes sense.
And then it
Narrow it
was
down.
him and his known friends, and then
Okay.
they got one of his friends alone and then pulled the old, he told us everything.
Yeah, okay, that's a
So
good
you
move.
so you gotta tell us your side of the story, and then
Wow.
he rolled, and then it's funny, he showed up to my brother's house yelling at him for telling them first, and then my brother almost killed him. He was like, I didn't say shit.
Oh
You
my
need to
God.
go
Oh
now.
my God.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy's face must
Wow.
have just dropped. He's like, you didn't
But
you didn't tell him?
it was kind of a blessing. We, and then before that, like, we were on fire as a family. Before that, we crashed my car
Okay.
because I was getting trashed on the beach, as I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Case of
Popular thing
40s
in
for me
Okinawa.
back in the day. And then my brother showed up late. We wanted to go to the other side of town to hang out and go to some bars. And what I didn't know is that I had my brother drive because I just worked over a case of 40s with like just two other people.
Yeah.
And so I had my brother
You say
drive.
that's 12 40s, right?
Probably. I had my brother drive since a big old box of Mickeys.
Right.
Okay,
Hell yeah.
that makes
I don't
sense.
know.
Between 8 and 12.
Oh, that's doable. At like what?
Nah,
how old,
man.
Like 16, 17?
Oh, I was 21.
21. So
Okay.
you're saying you drank 4 40s, realistically?
No, wait, I was 20.
20?
I was between 18
I,
and 20.
dude,
when
I
went to Japan.
like at 16, I killed 3 40s in a night.
I've done 3.
doable.
Every time I've done 3, it's been like a really bad situation, though.
Sure.
2 can be the best time ever.
Yeah.
Little Edward
But even then, I don't
beer
know.
hands.
But what I didn't know, I had him drive because I didn't know he'd slugged the whole bottle of vodka before he showed up.
Okay.
Damn.
I'll do it.
Because he showed up just as we were about to leave, and
Oh,
he
and
was
one.
like, "Let's go to Gate 2 Street." And I was like, "Oh yeah." And so we crashed my car, fled the scene of the accident,
Gotcha.
and then tried to report it stolen falsely. But we got
move.
caught because some military police recognized my brother because they were onto him for selling weed.
Oh,
And so when
shit.
we
Them peas
dipped
will
out,
get ya.
for the bomb threat thing, he had a more so basically back then when you're a military brat, also there's a pre 9/11 bomb threat, so probably would have got way fucked up for him.
Uh-huh.
But when you're a military brat, kind of like unless you kill someone,
Yeah.
I want to say rape, hopefully, and I'm
Hopefully,
scared that
yeah.
maybe they'll let kids get
Who
away
knows
with that
anyway?
shit. Or sell drugs.
Gotcha.
Then the punishment you'll get for fucking up in that country is you have to leave the country.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
shit.
which is why a lot of like the rowdy ass fucking shithead kids that I used to hang out with, like they come back to the States and go right to jail because they're used to just living
Getting away with
recklessly.
shit.
Because like,
Sure.
what? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, cool. I'll leave and live my
Yeah.
life.
I can also imagine some of them don't even want to be there. You
Yeah.
know, they just want to I'd rather go home. Let's fucking
Yeah,
go
so-
crazy.
But so
So you
we
followed up that with
we had
you know,
to
what
go,
would be a good
and we
idea.
dipped out because I wasn't sure whether or not we'd get like real trouble from this.
Okay.
So we actually dipped out before that could drop, but
Okay.
we just got the DUI,
Mhm.
and so that was the reason we left. And I said I was driving, but the guy knew
Okay.
my brother was driving, and
Yeah.
the it's not a judge, it's like a general or somebody. I
Whatever
don't know
whatever
how
their
it
term
works
for it is
because
there.
it's not like a real
Yeah.
court. It's all military shit.
Gotcha.
But he hinted at me, like
Yeah.
he hinted at it and is like admonishing me for fucking up. That like he knew I wasn't the one driving because the undercovers knew my
Gotcha.
brother was driving because they were watching him for drugs. And if he'd have got caught selling drugs, he would have gone to Japanese prison.
Wow.
So
Wonder what that's like. So you said let's follow this up with a celebratory bomb threat.
no, just us bailing over the bomb threat. We found out after that like they were on him for drugs. And so
Gotcha.
if we hadn't bailed off the island then my brother would have gotten real trouble.
Okay.
So, do you or did you speak Japanese?
Nah.
No.
No,
Okay. Yeah, because they speak English over there, right? Like
A lot
A
of
lot.
places, like
At least some.
yeah, because it's taught normally in school the same way we
Okay.
try to teach Spanish in school, but they'll learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not shitty Americans.
Yeah. And also, I mean, culturally, you know, all the world's favorite music
Yeah.
and
Everything.
movies.
Yeah.
It's easier to learn English.
That's not to say they don't have their own dope shit over there, obviously,
Yeah.
but
Movies. I want to know, what was that specific phone call like? What does the person on the other side sound like?
Well,
They're
I
just
took
like,
the first
fucking
one.
excuse me?
I took the first one, and what I did not know is that my brother was going to do accents.
Oh, okay. You could have hidden your voice.
Oh shit.
What accent?
Hey, man! Nice. You got a bomb in your building now!
Like, the
Was
only
that
Jamaican
Italian
here.
or Jamaican? Yeah.
Who knows?
They're like, sir, the only Jamaican on Okinawa is calling.
Dude, if that got somebody else arrested.
Like, we know it was you. You're the only one that sounds like that.
Kingston. Yeah. We know it's you, dude.
Come on out. So you just did your voice? You didn't do an accent?
No, I was working,
Oh, okay.
and then
Okay.
I would get to leave work,
Gotcha.
Oh
That's
shit.
a tight deal.
Okay.
which
Yeah.
is why I did it, and also I hated my job, so I wanted them to lose money. I did during the holiday shopping.
It is fun to lie to your work. I've never lied about a bomb, but I've lied
Right.
about
I
work
love
before.
that you needed like a reason to be able to get out of work, and you were like, "What's an easy thing? I'll have my brother call it a bomb threat,
And then you're like, well, then everybody gets to go. I'm actually doing everybody a favor.
not make up a pet or a kid or something. Just
Well, do you know how Jake quit Walmart?
I just told him my dad died and I had to move back to Indiana. So I knew I was quitting, so I cashed in all of my paid time off. I was like, look, I'm doing all this, and then the very last day of that, I called them and they were like, so you're coming into work tomorrow? I was like, oh, actually my dad died. I gotta go. Sorry. And I just never. And then like 2 months later, I was shopping there. And my
oh
coworker
my God,
was like,
dude.
What's the deal? And I was like, oh yeah, I totally lied.
Wait, you quit a Walmart here?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. You moved to Portland to work at Walmart.
Well, that was I was working at Walmart in Indiana, and I just wanted a job right when I got here, so I just transferred to the one here, and so I worked at that for like 3 months, I think. But I
take it back. That sucks that you had to live in Indiana and work at Walmart.
Yeah, that was worse, honestly.
Mhm.
But then I transferred to the one on 82nd here, that Walmart. Which is
Oh, boy, girl.
I was a cart pusher, so I was working in the parking lot of that Thunderdome, is what the police called it. Yeah, tough Walmart to work. I worked there for like 3 months, quickly quit, and had no issue fucking flipping the birds on the way out.
Yeah.
As you should. It's the best way to quit Walmart.
I wanted to follow that up by quitting my most recent job by just telling them that I died. Because I just stopped going. I put in my 2 weeks, went like 1 week, and then just stopped going. And they like texted me a few times. I so badly wanted to just be like, over text, be like, this is Jake's roommate, he is dead. And just never respond. And then Silas was like, well, what if they file a report? And I was like, yeah, that's probably not good.
Better yet, you could text him, this is Jake's mom, and I heard his phone going off in his room. My son died 3 years ago.
Like, who was that guy?
Who have we been paying to call in sick once
that
a
might
week?
warrant an investigation that I don't need.
I love
Dude, if you had to prove you were Jake Tooling, not some dead kid in Indiana.
Oh my God! What if this whole time I've not been me? Jake died in Indiana. I showed up, stole his identity.
Yeah, dude, Brett's not real. That's whose identity you took.
I have phone calls with my fake parents.
Fucking just Mr. Ripleying your way through Portland comedy.
Oh man!
But those are Jake's jokes that you're using.
Yeah, I stole his act. Moved to a different city with it.
You've never had a thought about candles in your life.
My homie that I was talking about earlier, he actually, one of the times that he quit doing comedy, he sold his act to another comic in town.
That's not bad.
And the other comic sold it back to him cheap because he's like, dude, people want to kill me for doing your jokes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, you don't buy from the same city you perform in.
Oh, you also just don't buy jokes.
Well, no.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, you don't perform them in front of people that saw them 2 weeks ago from a different person.
I mean, we're not that far removed from that time, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
People used to just, still, you look at some specials today and it'll say written by like a list of people. Like some people still use writers.
yeah, Kevin Hart uses a couple guys.
Yeah.
Apparently, they all just kick the idea back and forth until it gets to where he wants
The
it
Adam
to be.
Sandler special I was talking about earlier, it's like him and 4 dudes wrote that. shit together, which it's a little bit different when you're writing songs like that.
Yeah.
He's not exactly speaking from the heart when you're just telling those kinds of jokes.
Well, fucking Paul Mooney, Richard Pryor's writer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of behind-the-scenes people like that.
Sure.
You want to write for me, Noah?
What?
You want to write for me?
I'll write some stuff for you.
I gotta start sucking dicks. That's about all I want to
Yeah,
talk
I think
about.
that's good.
At an hour 20.
Yeah,
I'm having it.
Any closing
I'm
remarks?
exhausted.
Later that night, the Foot Fetish Boys enjoyed their revels in delight. Frankie was hailed as the hero he was and moved up in the ranks. The boys celebrated all night long. Little did they know that their reign of feet crime was soon coming to an end.
Fuck yeah!
Oh, you got a podcast with Alex Rios, do you not?
Yeah, it's not good though.
All right. Do you have anything you do want to plug?
It's this, but grosser and less mature. And I'm twice as old as everyone on this podcast right now. It's called Chumba and Wumba. You can listen to it on your own peril. It's weird. It's either like really heartfelt, honest shit, because he's one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
And whenever we're having a problem, we'll discuss it there.
Tight.
Just in our lives, not with each other. We don't just podcast isn't
Let's
just for us to fight. Like, hey, you did this one time.
Dude, I thought that's what you meant.
No,
I was
whenever we
like,
got a
dude, I'm
problem.
gonna go fucking...
We only do the podcast when we're pissed at each other. So
It's really the only podcast exists where there's an episode that's just about the two of you shitting your pants, and also, like, 2 episodes later, you shared feelings about, like, your dead brothers that were really heartfelt.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a roller coaster all in an hour.
But yeah, it's two like idiot friends who are very close. So like, yeah, those are the 2 speeds basically. It's like really honest, emotional conversations with each other, which are more rare. It's usually just us calling each other fat.
Yeah, it's fun. Cool. Sam, you got anything you plug? SM Slammin'. What's your Twitter?
My my
Instagram.
SMC Stank or something
that's
like
your-
that is my
yeah.
Twitter.
That's Stank.
And you're slamming 1977
On Instagram,
Instagram.
if anyone cares. No, not really. I have a podcast with my friend Andy Clark, who's a really funny dude, called The Peyton Years, if anyone cares about Oregon State basketball. We just recorded one and then lost it.
Always
so we have to
exciting.
do it again, and it'll be even better. And yeah,
Always
hopefully,
is.
like, there will be college basketball next year, and
Fuck yeah.
because we've talked about trying to do it more regularly. But
And
yeah,
we gotta get you over to record us discussing the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look forward to new segments with Sam, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be.
Season
I'll be
2.
back on this.
Yeah.
I'm sure
More
before
than Ross,
long.
more than Ben.
Wow.
Most important.
You're number
Sam,
one.
you're gonna get us a share of that Great Dane for Clinton House. That way, when this big breakup happens, we'll
Right.
Part ownership. We get Saturdays. All right, that's enough. All right, thank you for listening to episode 1 of season 2, everybody.
Yeah, that was the first one of this thing.
Hope you liked our little sketches there.
Yeah. And I hope you liked us talking.
I hope you liked it all. But if you didn't like it all, I hope you liked most.
If you didn't like it all, I hope you fucking eat.
Goodbye, everybody.
Fuck yeah!